Hi everyone, I'm Carolyn from Carolyn's Model and Talent Agency, and I'm here to talk to you today because it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Okay, so I was first diagnosed back in the early 90s with breast cancer, an in situ carcinoma, which is like a stage 0 breast cancer basically. And back then I was 35 years old, had long hair. When I was diagnosed, actually how I found out, I had a lump on my chest, on my breast, and when I got undressed from the morning to night, the lump appeared. When I went to the doctor said, oh, that seems like nothing. We'll just do a little needle biopsy. It was just fluid, it should be fine. But you know what, maybe we'll do a mammogram just to make sure. So I had a mammogram back then in the 90s, and they found out it was in situ carcinoma. So I was called into the doctor's office, and they said, I have cancer. I said, you have cancer, Carolyn, and we have to do chemotherapy. So when somebody tells you that you have a cancer diagnosis, the first thing you think of, oh my God, I'm gonna die. So when you get that diagnosis, and I'm sure a lot of women can relate, you almost feel like you're in a movie. We're in the movie business, actually. This is what I do for a living. But I almost felt like I was in a movie. I was the star, but I was almost like above my body watching this play. And I thought, how could this be happening? What did I do to deserve this? How could this be happening to me? But the other question is, well, why not me? Maybe because I'm to tell my story to help other people recognize how to spot if they have breast cancer and to create that awareness. This is why I'm doing this video today. So basically what happened back then is I had chemotherapy, had a mastectomy, a left mastectomy, and thought everything was fine. And you know, about 10 years later, I had a little lump on the same side on the left side, and it was cancerous. I had that removed and was given the drug tamoxifen, which is an anti-estrogen type drug for women with estrogen positive breast cancer, which mine was. So I was on that for 5 years, finished that, and everything was fine. And then all of a sudden I had another little lump. So basically it came back 4 times on the left side. But the great thing is, I think I'm my own best inspiration because I'm still here today, and that was over 28 years ago. So that is the good news. So basically, now we're going through the pandemic, which is COVID, which is an unbelievable time for so many people. I want to bring awareness because I'm going to tell you my story, what happened to me this year. So March, when everything closed down, it was a terrible thing because business was going really good, everybody was doing great, and then all of a sudden COVID happened. Well, I was due for a mammogram in July, and I thought to myself, well, with COVID going on, maybe I won't go to the hospital to get my mammogram because I'm okay, I feel fine. I haven't had cancer for a long time on the other side. I've had a mastectomy, the chemo, the whole 9 yards, everything's fine. I feel great, I'm in perfect health. Maybe I'll just phone the hospital and cancel my mammogram. For some strange reason, a little voice inside, I don't know if it was the good Lord speaking to me, that said, you know what, go for your mammogram. So I listened to that inner voice, and I think that's what we have to all do today, is listen to that inner voice, trust our gut. So I went in for a mammogram, and about a week later I was called back. And a week later they said, we just want to do another mammogram. I was so nervous because I thought, oh, how could this be happening? But then I thought, well, it's okay. Sometimes they just don't get all the images, so no problem. So I went back for the mammogram, and a week later they called and they said, oh, the surgeon, you have to meet with the doctor. They want to talk to you. And I thought, oh, this doesn't seem good. So anyway, so I went back to talk to the doctor, an amazing surgeon at the Credit Valley Hospital, and he was amazing, very compassionate, spent a lot of time with me explaining things, and mentioned to me that they found an in situ carcinoma at stage 0 and suggested I have a right side mastectomy. So without hesitation whatsoever, I got a mastectomy because I thought, well, I was lopsided anyway. I had, you know, no breast on one side, and then all of a sudden I had the breast that I had remaining from, you know, all my life, that I thought, I just have to get this off. So that part didn't bother me at all. My greatest fear was, you know, having to have radiation or chemotherapy. So far I don't need radiation, have to meet with the oncologist, so I hope that's all good. I think it is. It was stage zero, wasn't in the lymph nodes, had some lymph nodes removed. So I do have still some swelling. But as far as recovery for any women wanting to know about a mastectomy, as far as me, what I've gone through, a mastectomy really, is it painful? To me, not really. I think I've had 2 knee replacements, so I think that's a lot more painful. I think mentally it can be very difficult if it's your first time going through it, but it's not the end of the world. And I think the most important thing, I always try to put a humorous spin on things. So as my husband says, flat is where it's at, honey. So as you can see, I'm flat as a board, but you know what? I'm happy and healthy. And that's what matters to me. So I can get up in the morning, and if I want to be Dolly Parton one day, I can wear whatever size implant I want in my bras. And if I want to go flat, I can go flat. So anyway, that's the humorous side. So I think we always have to see the humorous side in our health that we go through, because that's what helps me actually get through that. Now, for all of you know the pink ribbon, we always ask and like women to wear, and men, the pink ribbon, because the pink ribbon suggests breast cancer awareness. And I think what I want to get out, my message to everybody, is awareness. You have to be your own best doctor. You have to be aware of how your body feels. Do not, under any circumstance, ever bypass a mammogram or think, well, I don't need it, I'm fine. Always get your test, regardless of what's happening. Always be proactive with your health. Watch what you eat. Try to live a good life as best as we can, and try not to have too much stress, which is almost impossible today with the pandemic going on. But we have to try to always be grateful and humble, and always try to see the good side of things. And what it helps me is I always have the philosophy, it could always be worse. So I'm here today to talk to you, to help you have that awareness. So even if you're healthy and everything and you want to skip that mammogram, do not skip the mammogram. You go for that mammogram and you go to the doctor. And I'm speaking to men too. A lot of men don't like going to the doctor, but I think we all have to look after our health and go to the doctor and get the necessary tests as we get older in life.